Hi, how you doing? This is Deborah. Um, I am in Merida right now, but I'm gonna talk about. I'm gonna do a series on uh, coming to Merida, and the music in the background is from YouTube. It says it's non-copyrighted, so um, I'm gonna use that. You hear different things. I'm talking in the back or music in the background, and I'm gonna try to cut it off from commercials because I don't. Uh, I'm not I don't have the contract to add. It's just the music, I believe. Okay. What I wanted to do today was talk about the uh, summarize the lessons that I learned when I was in Australia, and I'm going to talk about the prepping the steps coming into Merida, and then on the later video, kind of going to do like a Mexico series. You know, follow follow me as I go through the living experience in Mexico. So, first, I want to thank you for coming. If you like, but I always forget to say, like, subscribe, share the video. So, if you hear anything that you like or that you want to comment on in the comments, that's great. Subscribe, you know, that really help me out a lot. So yeah, we're going to get into it. All right. I came back to the U.S. from Australia after being gone for a considerable amount of time. It was over a year, about 15 months, and actually in Australia. And while I was in Australia, I went to Fiji for a few days, stayed with a Fiji family. Um, I did go to New Zealand because the time period I was there, I had to go in and out every 6 months. So I did go to New Zealand, but it was actually a turnaround trip. So I talked about that in previous videos. Okay, so what I wanted to summarize, what I learned coming from uh, over the time period coming back from Australia. Number one is being grateful. So my level of gratitude while I was gone was um, it probably didn't start off when I was there necessarily being that grateful, but coming back was definitely a thank uh, higher power, God, for watching over me, guiding me, uh, showing me favor, sending me people. That's time that I needed it, um, in the form of resources, be it medical health services, be it just chit chat when people talking. Um, Found somebody to do my hair, although that was another issue. I mean, it was similar to this style, just a little bit different, a little bit higher. That caused a few health problems, but still being grateful um, to have access to the health people when that hairstyle did me wrong. Um, but yeah, being back in the U.S., like I said, being grateful, um, realizing some things that I could have done a little bit differently. Uh, Going to Australia, it's for any place. Every place has a different focus, a um, uh, different ways of doing what they do. One of the things that I did come to realize for myself in Australia is being from the U.S. We're used to not only uh, having results, but getting there in the processes that we do in the system that we're in. And one thing that I learned in Australia, and it really helped me to let go, and it which is one of the reasons. The main reason that I went to Australia was the ability was letting go of what I knew in my past, which was I classified as not being that positive survival mode, um, but having gone through that in Australia, a couple of things I realized, and those things were the main thing was getting to the point of being able to finally come to a resolution and forgive my mother for what I classified as emotional neglect. So, hold on a second. Okay, pausing the wrong one. All right, hold on. Um, hmm. Okay. Well, we are going to catch the edit because I have no idea how to. There we go. Hold on. Okay. So I'm trying to block that part out. Um, but I don't. I thought I was going to be able to pause the camera here, but apparently I figured out a check. Okay. Um, but so getting back to the states, um, I realized a lot of things that used to bother me don't bother me anymore, and I'm sure a lot of that is because of having a newfound respect for parents, particularly my mother, and that led to a level of grounding, foundational grounding, that I felt like I had been missing. But yeah, when I got back, I just realized I things that used to bother me don't bother me anymore. I think I'm more serene, more being able to feel confident as I communicate with people on how I feel about certain things instead of being, um, afraid of a loss of some kind. I just That doesn't matter to me like that anymore, because I know that the higher power and Holy Spirit's had me. Um, yeah, but there are a few things that was probably the most important to me. Um, yeah, just a complete overall feeling of gratitude. Um, the things that I would say, and I do have um, a series. What do you call it? I'm gonna do this thing on Mexico, probably similar to um, what I did in Australia, except the videos are not going to be as long. My videos in here have been over an hour each one, but I'm trying not to ramble excessively. Just get to the point. What I need to, what I was going to bring across, and post that. So I, I'm going to do my best. I'm not going to say I'm going to promise, but I'm going to do my best not to uh, get a whole lot of rambling because I can ramble. Um, but yeah, so the uh, things that I will be talking about in my in my ah, classes. Classes. That's all. In my sessions, I'm going to talk about going to Australia long term, what you need to look for, and I'm also going to do coming to Mexico long term. And the one with the Mexico right now is based on Merida, and I'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay. Um, but trying to think of anything more resolution to discuss about Australia. Um, I thought I did, but main thing was just when I came back, just more chilled out, relaxed, confident. Um, what else? I would like to say a little bit more, not necessarily organized, although I would, well, no, part of it is when I came back is realizing that I had some emotional, um, they used to call it hyper hypertension. Now they call it ADHD. So I always knew that. Hold on a second. Okay. So I always knew of the inability to focus, um, excitability, not not being able to just plan what I call plan on the fly. A lot of times I would do some things as far as planning, and then a few minutes in, I'm often about doing something else, especially if it wasn't necessarily interesting to me at the time. Just kind of like a means getting in or something like that. But uh, and not being able to process process a thought on things. So now I realize that's kind of loud. Now I realize that I need to write stuff down on paper. Oh, wow, I'm just gonna get down. Write stuff down on paper in order to focus for the most part. Which is another reason that my videos were an hour long because I was not focused, kind of all over the map, and really probably trying to do too much on one video at a time. So I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna try not to do that on here. Um, the Going forward, I put it like that. I'm gonna try not to do that. So the Trying to think what else coming out of Australia, and I'll address it in my course, in my class course. I, I had to figure out the proper name, but y'all know what I mean. Um, or I'm gonna post it in a different way. Put it like that. I'll probably try to post the information. It's gonna be coming soon. I'll put it like that. Watch out. It's gonna be coming soon. I don't have it quite prepared, quite finished yet. I'm gonna put some finishing touches on it. So when I do the finishing touches on it in the next few days, I'll let y'all know. Okay. And I'll probably post the link to get to it in the comments in the description underneath, and then that way, whenever y'all hear this video, be it sometime in the future, whatever, and you want to click on it, just get some. Mainly, both of them are 10 things you need to know, or 10 things you need to get done before you go, or 10 things that are going to help you. Excuse me, ideally before you leave the U.S. or any Western country. Uh, with the expectations, with some of the um, uh, customs, some legal stuff, not specific legal stuff, just things that I encountered. So I couldn't tell you necessarily if stuff was legal or illegal. Well, some of the stuff I was told by a second party that certain things were illegal. So I'll give those pointers. I do plan on having some links in there so that you can follow along. You can use that and follow along to get the information that you need. Okay, and like I said, both of them are preliminary. Okay, yeah, both of them will be preliminary information, things that I'm working on, and things that'll help, that I think will help, especially people going through there. Um, yeah, we'll see. Like I said, it's in the planning stages, so you know, still working on it. Like I said, okay. Uh, Now, so that's basically what I learned from Australia. The animals and pets while I was there, because I was doing house and pet sit while I was there. I did learn a few things about my cleaning. I'm honest with you, I am not a maid, so I had a few information about my cleaning habits. Gotten a lot better, and I'll tell you the information that I used in the course. Okay. Let's see. Probably more confident, more relaxed when I got back. And part of that is just knowing that I could be somewhere else in the world. There's a lot of stuff going on in the U.S. that are, based on capitalism, and coming to the realization that the U.S. is a uh, defense-based country. So a lot of stuff is based on, uh, you know, defending and war type mentality from the top to the bottom. So, this fight mode, I feel like that, in a fight mode. So when I got back from Australia, I realized that I'm willing to do what I need to do to let that part go. So, but yeah, it's very, uh, but yeah. So I'll have that course um, working on. I'm gonna have two. One is what I've learned in Australia, and the second one is what I'm learning in uh, Mexico. Okay, next. Okay, geez, I'm getting that. Okay, uh, now transitioning uh, into coming into Mexico. All right, so the excuse me, what I learned. All right, so I started a decluttering group, and we meet once a week, but we post information on if you want to be included. Okay, here's the key about being in a decluttering group. You have to be, you have to look like me. In other words, you have to be black and female in order to be included in the decluttering group. Okay, um, and you could be decluttering just to move. It could be, for me, it was move abroad. It could be moving from a bigger to a smaller space. It could be just getting rid of stuff out of your, and out of your environment. But the thing, no, let me stick to it. Black women wanting to declutter to travel. That's the key. And I have to, if you come want to be invited as a member, I need to be able to go to your Facebook page or some social media to verify that you are a black woman, period. Okay. And I'm not looking for, I mean, it's okay if you have animal pictures in there or avatar or any of that stuff. I don't, that doesn't bother me. But I have to be able to look at your page and tell that you are a black female and you are interested in decluttering. Okay. Um, right now the group is relatively small, I would say, but yeah, but that's our goal. Black women traveling. Okay. So, but yeah, when we meet once a week and we just post in the group our wins. If we need motivation, we'll post in there too. No disrespect, respect people's space, respect where they're at, where they're decluttering, because not everybody is willing to throw away a lot of stuff at one time. Um, there's a lot of different, emotional attachments to stuff that a lot of us have, especially in the US, especially, looking at this stuff and realizing how much work and time we put into purchasing stuff. So, you know, respect where everybody's at, and everybody's at a different space. Some people don't have no problem chucking everything and starting over. Other people is one book at a time, one uh, jacket at a time, a pair of socks, a picture, whatever it is, just respect other people's space. Okay. So, but yeah, that's where we're at on that. So if that's something that you want to do, that's fine. But that's the only criteria in order to get in that group, black and female. If you're seeing this video and you're not with either one of those, either start your own group or find somebody who is, okay, or who's already doing that. Okay, now that leads me up into going into coming to setting up to come to Mexico. Um, I was on a time period to get here with the goal being uh, getting residency, and that's what I'm going for. Getting residency through a means of not having through how can I put it? Um, other than economical solvency. The process that I use, I have to start the process here in Mexico. So I had a time period. As far as I know, this is the early 2020. It's January 2025. I needed to get in before the new year came in, and so far the process is still going. Now anything can change at any time, but that's the process that I'm using. Um, My goal was to come in, get a short visa stay, and then apply for the residency program because I still have things that I need to do, take care of back in the U.S. Um, but the process leading up to that, it, honestly, it took a lot of time. It did. It didn't take as much time as it took me going to Australia because that was all new. This international thing for me was all new. Actually, Australia took me some considerable, a few months to plan. I would say a good 3 to 4 months to plan. Um, and actually, let's see, I was one of my sits I got in October for the following March. So it was before. It was long. It was before that. It took me about 6 months. I would say I would say roughly about 6 months to plan for the Australia trip. You want to get, determine the reason that you want to that you want this. Okay, I need to put that what I did. Okay, so that the process that I was going to go through was to go basically do what I needed to do to get here. Um, be here for a couple of months or whatever, getting to get back to the U.S. So that's what I base my information on. Looking for a place to stay in the Merida area. I'm in Merida, Merida, Merida. All right, Merida. I gotta figure out the proper. I want to say Merida, but it might be pronounced a different way. So going to get into Merida, um, you know, what you want to do is what I had to do was figure out my budget, what I could afford. When I got here, um, look to see uh, look to see an area to be in. Okay, so I worked on that. Look to see area that I plan to be in. As far as neighborhoods, looking for some of the requirements. Also look for. I looked up uh, health insurance, health care. I was having some dental work done. I was looking up information, in between insurance issues. I'm older, so I am on Medicare. So I was looking up the different issues there to work on, to have done. Um, I did sign up for what's called a medical group for Medicare, and I'll put their information also in the description there. Hold on just a second. Okay, so, but yeah, the that information. Mm, yeah, I'll add them. Yeah, they're if you're on Medicare or no, Medicare Advantage. You have to be on Medicare Advantage with worldwide emergency coverage, and then from there, the medical group will take. They'll let you know what. It's like a membership. The membership is free, but it's like a membership, and they'll let you know what they have available. Okay, so, but it was pretty straightforward, pretty easy. It took a couple of days. It needed, I mean, yeah, I would say it took about 2 or 3 days. It didn't take long for them to, verify my insurance, stuff like that. So, but yeah, so I did that, checking on the medical insurance, in the process of decluttering. The process for me in decluttering was just getting rid of stuff that I had not used when I was in Australia 15 months. The only thing about being back, before you start the decluttering process for a few months, you start getting reattached to stuff. So, um, before I left, I think I had a winter coat. Sort I won't be in the States during the cold winter anymore. But it got cold a few days. Every time I was thinking about giving away the bag with a coat in it, it would get cold. And it was like, ooh, I'm only gonna be down here for a few months. I might get back and it still might be cold. So I ended up holding on to the coat. But I did get rid of some books. I got rid of a lot of albums that we had that were in the basement. I mean, they were still, thank goodness, they were still good. Um, CDs weren't quite as valuable, but I did was going through the process of getting rid of some, separating out some CDs. But I try to offer them and for people that for sort of whatever reason they didn't want the CD. I made a record store wouldn't even get the CDs. So they said people that if they come in music, they want vinyls these days. So hey, but I'll probably when I get back there, I still so that's a donation. So I'm going to get rid of quite a few of those. Um, Probably the albums. I know I had almost 200 albums that we got rid of. And still got about 100 left. The CDs probably had I probably have about 60 to get rid of, and still got about 30 left. Um, you know, but again, it's that emotional attachment. What if I want to listen to this? Because even with albums and CDs, a lot of a lot of that music they don't play on the radio. I'd heard different songs from you know the Jacksons and uh, Marvin Gaye, Stevie Wonder, the Four Tops, Temptations, all the stuff. And there's a lot of music on those albums and CDs that popular radio stations just don't play. They're not going to play. So, but yeah, so some of those I did hang on to, um, but making other plans to come. What did we do? Because I did come with my sister. She did stuff that she was interested in, for her travel outside of the U.S. And then I worked on the stuff that I was interested in. But yeah, the food for the refrigerator. I know what I need. I know how to handle this. That I do. Okay, that's it. Okay, I don't have to keep cutting on my mic. Okay. Um, but things that we did, we ate down the food in our refrigerator instead of, give yourself enough time that you want to, minimize. So a lot of eating out, not completely. I still, when I, a couple of days a week, not fancy. Fast food to me works. I, I'm in part of my saving resources. I, I'm a foodie. If I go to a place and I spend 25, $30 on a meal, and the food don't taste any better than an $8 meal somewhere, guess what? I ain't got no problem going somewhere to get $5 and $8 for a meal at all. Matter of fact, if I go to spend that kind of money, 25, $30 on a meal, and the food don't taste good, I'm pissed. I'm upset. Like, no. So, you know, um, so my outing was, a couple of days. Uh, I would say maybe 1 or 2 days a week. I would, go out to eat or somewhere. Because I kind of get tired. You buying food for home. You got quantity, so over time, combination of don't feel like cooking or want a different taste or whatever. I would go out, but really cutting down on going out. Instead of going out 4 or 5 days somewhere, I'm out about. I just bought. I just got to a point where I was cut off buying extra groceries, just start eating. Combination of what's in the refrigerator, food stock on the shelf. We have a what do you call it, a pantry, eat stuff out of there. So that was part of it. Eating down food that you already bought. Um, in our case, not. You need to go visit a place. People talk about sell everything you got and move. Eh, that's a little bit too final. Some of the things, especially if you're working, you might have to have a U.S. address. If you're working remotely, you might have the U.S. address. Um, might not be able to get things out in time. Um, you're going to have people back in the States who are not going to necessarily support you on this move. So you might as well, use. If they want to stay in the United States, that's great. Have them go by and check on your property every now and then. You know, if you want to rent it out, Airbnb it. You know, as long as you have a place to stay. You know, partition out part that you want to Airbnb. Um, you can have people go by and check on it. You know, in our case, you know, we don't mind. We, you know, family and friends can go by and check on it. Um, you know, uh, family and friends passing through town, if they want to stay, you know, they want a place to stay for inexpensive, they can go by there and stay there for a couple of days or whatever, a few days, you know, passing through, whatever. So, you know, that's something that you want to discuss with your family and friends and family, and, you know, just, you know, make sure people you can trust, you know, somebody ain't gonna go in there, trash the place, or, you know, going there having a wild party and have the police calling on, carrying on and stuff like that. So, um, yeah, we did that as part of our preparation. What else? What else did I do before I came out? Planning. I did do a chart. I did do a binder. You know, as you're planning stuff, you want to get a binder or something to keep track of all the moving pieces, because you're going to need your health insurance. You're going to need your information. You might need some level of financials depending on what you're doing. Some countries will request to see bank statements. Um, and then, but you know, just knowing that when you get to immigration at the airport, customs, people might not ask for anything. When I went to Australia, the people didn't ask for it. I had bank statements. I had health insurance information, so that, or medical insurance, travel insurance. They didn't ask for nothing. They uh, they asked about the food coming in. So, you know, get prepped. You know, go look on some of the websites. You know, coming here to Mexico, it wasn't a whole lot that they required coming in. You know, Mexico is pretty flexible, especially to American citizens. So, you know, despite all this political bashing that's going on, you know, they're really they're chill. Mexico's really chill. Um, but yeah, so you know, do the steps that you need to do. Uh, you know, to kind of pare down I'm sorry, that's what I did. That's what we did. Pared down stuff out of the refrigerator. You know, cleaned it off once we could. Um, you know, look up what you're looking for, the weather, stuff like that. But know that, you know, in all of your preparation, there's still going to be some level of culture shock. So handle what we did on our end was handle what we could before we left on our end. Some level of, you know, security there, but going into another country, just like going to Australia, that didn't know nothing what to expect other than what, you know, some of the people said, what they said on YouTube or something like that. But you won't know, you know, when you step off the plane in these different environments, everybody's body is different. Some people react to the weather, some people react to the environment, some people react to the people, some people react to the food, some people react to the healthcare. You know, it's all just, and then there's a bunch of variations in each one of those. So you work on what is important to you as far as you know. Okay. But one of the things that I got from Australia in the time that I was there was I my resolution as to what I need was became my focus. My eventual where do I want to be at is what I decided on. So that where I wanted to be at, and then realizing that there were different ways to get there. So that's what I went from. And I just that's how I handled going from being stressed out about how they were doing things, and it seemed backwards to them, to me, and all the stuff. And I was, you know, the first time somebody said you had an accent, I got upset, and I'm thinking, what do you mean I got an accent? I don't have the accent here. And then I had to dawn on me, okay, calm down. You're not home, you know. So that's how I approached that. But you know, that's what I needed to be at. Um, Going anywhere, and that's going to help you in your journey. Just figure out what it is. Where do you want to be? Um, you know, question wise, uh, where do you want to be? What's your eventual goal? And just realize where you're at, the people there are going to get there differently. They have a different step to get to the same destination. Okay. And respect the fact that they've been there and it worked and it's been working for them. You're new, they've been there all this time. Be open to how they handle their business. Okay. You might find that it makes, and once I got to that point, I found out that it makes sense. I mean, there were places in Australia, the pronunciation, they spelled words differently, they pronounced them differently. Um, Even though they're still using the English as their main English, the English language is their main, the way of pronouncing it is something totally different. And some of the same words mean something very different. So focus on that. Um, but yeah, so you know, but yeah, so and then the next my next course that I have coming out, and I'm working on that too, and it's gonna be coming soon, is what questions that you need to consider coming to Mexico, or yeah, things that you coming to Central America. Well, Mexico's North America, but just things that you need to consider be, before you, or questions that you need to ask, and expectations coming into Merida. Okay, that's my time limit for the day. I'm over a little bit. Like I said, I'm not going to be talking a lot like I did in my other videos. So, um, again, okay, what's it? Like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate it. Okay. All right, y'all take care. And if you post anything in the comments, I check those periodically. So I will be checking those. Okay. All right, y'all take care. Thank you. Bye bye.